I finally got to leave Cascade Road from with my moms. After I had spent some time on Washington Road and some time on Cascade, I went to move with my dad in Lithonia, Georgia. He just had got a new house with his girlfriend and her daughter. They were pretty cool. It was like one of those communities like Crooklyn. Look up the movie Crooklyn. That's how Lithonia was. Whoa, boy. Let me tell you about Lithonia. Welcome to Lithonia. I started going to a high school in that area. I remember going shopping to get a pair of Air Max, some jeans, and some t-shirts. I had my hair braided, and I had a little room at my dad's house. I don't know if I had a bed yet or not, but I had my suitcase and my bags. I had gotten pretty used to having my suitcase and my bags. I was used to going to new schools. I was kind of excited, but not really. I was kind of excited about making straight A's. I wanted to have my reputation back. I didn't want to be known as somebody who was a dropout or anything like that. So I stayed in high school and I graduated from middle school, even though I did not know it because my life was so hard. So when I realized that I made it to high school, I put my mind to my work at school. My dad's girlfriend knew a lot of people out there. She had a lot of family. And her daughter, she was pretty cool. My sisters, they came over to visit maybe like once or twice when I first got there. Then after that, I didn't see my sisters there again. I was there with my dad's girlfriend's daughter. I recall going to a guy's house and he tried to take advantage of me. I felt so low about myself. I knew that this guy, he did not like me. Also, I had been taken advantage of, and I was not in the mood to be treated less than a young woman. This man was much older than me. I know that my dad's girlfriend's sister, she had a lot of sense when it came to guys. She already knew what she wanted in life. She was very successful, and it seemed that she was very well kept. My dad was always working. I never really felt too comfortable. I mean, it was a nice house. It was TV, everything there. I was always alone, or someone would come through every now and then from work or school, and they would sleep there, but it was like I was always by myself. I wasn't there long before school started. It was very refreshing to me to go to the 9th grade. I was tired of just being by myself, and I was ready to start the new year. I also heard some rumors that there were going to be girls there from schools that I knew from middle school, from Stone Mountain, Georgia. I was excited to see the new girls at the school and to see some of the faces that I already knew. But boy, I didn't know what was in store for me when I stepped into MLK High School. I went to MLK High School for my 9th grade year. I saw some girls that I knew from Stone Mountain in the cafeteria. It was only a couple of them, and they act like they didn't even know me. That was cool, because I did not hang out with them anyway. Even at Stone Mountain, we never really hung out. So it wasn't a surprise to me for them to treat me like that. It was high school, and people were doing their own thing. So I didn't really take it to heart. I was there to focus on my grades anyway. So in the beginning of the year, I was a straight A student at MLK High School. I felt so grown and refreshed because I was doing it on my own. I didn't need to have my dad or my mom to wake me up in the morning or to tell me how to do anything in particular. I always came to school dressed nicely. I kept my hair done. I went straight to the class. I sat down, I participated, and I got my work done. It was only a matter of time before the other girls were trying to fight me. I also went to physical education class. Most people call it gym. I was very good at gym. I also was an active participant. One day, I was in gym class, and the unthinkable happened. We were stepping up on these steps that we use for exercise in gym class, and my step flew back because I almost slipped. My step didn't hit anyone, but one of the girls in class said if my step would have hit her, she would have hit me. I told the girl that my step did not hit her and that she was not going to hit me. The girl started yelling and threatening that she would harm me. The girl kept trying to fight me throughout the school with her friends and her sister. I sat in the lunchroom by myself, and I noticed that there were all types of girls trying to fight for different reasons. I met one girl from New York, and she was cool. She was out there the day of the fight. I had already told the office that the girl was threatening to fight me, and that she already was intimidating me around the school with her friends. I was trying to ignore the girl, and it was really hard. It almost really got to me when she kept trying to intimidate me around the school. I kept ignoring the girl and going to my class. I did feel like the other kids teasing me made me feel uncomfortable in the class. One day, the gym teachers told us that we could go out on the field. The coach gave us all kinds of stuff to play with. We also had the option to walk around the track if that's what we wanted to do. So I decided to walk around the track with the girl from New York. While I was walking, there were a group of kids, boys and girls, all following behind me in one big crowd. People had been calling me scary around the school because I did not want to fight the girl. I was there to focus on my grades. I had already been through a lot. The girl was leading the crowd, and supposedly there was a rumor that she was a part of some type of clique, and all they did was fight. I was walking, minding my own business, and the girl tried to run up behind me. At first, she was just teasing me, telling me to come and fight her. I turned around and looked at her. I said, for someone who has all that mouth, you sure do a lot of talking. I was so tired of her, and I was tired of her bullying me. I felt like if she was gonna hit me, then I just wanted her to go ahead and do it, because I wanted it to be the last time that she threatened me. I wanted her to know that I was not afraid of her, and that if she was gonna attack me, that I was going to fight back. The girl was shorter than me, but she was heavy. She was dark-skinned with gold teeth, and I think she had some colorful hair. I was so tired of her that I turned around after I told her that I was not afraid, and I kept walking. She ran up from behind, and I could feel her coming, and I turned around and I ducked. She tried to punch me in my head, but she missed when I ducked. Then I came back up and I grabbed her with my right arm around the neck, and I slammed her to the ground. Everybody had hyped her up to run up to fight me. They kept saying, ooh, you just gonna let her talk to you like that? Ooh, and they were egging her to fight me because I said that I wasn't afraid. They were in the middle. Then they were trying to instigate the entire situation. The people in the crowd said that it was luck. They said, oh, that is luck. She just got lucky. Get up and fight her again. The crowd of boys and girls got all around us in a circle. Then they started pushing her to fight me and pushing me to fight her again. I was scared and I did not know what to do. The adrenaline just took over my body. She ran up on me. Then she tried to punch me in the head again. I ducked again. Then she missed again. I had learned that move from my older sister when she slammed me on the ground in a headlock when we got into it at my dad's girlfriend's house. My older sister was trying to behave very differently in front of some people that my dad was cool with. It was like she was trying to put on a show, then put me down in front of them, like to be cool. Then we got into a fight. I told them that I was going to hurt her and that I was not going to let her be beating me up either just because she was my big sister. So I had learned some moves from my sister that day. When the girl missed, I grabbed her by the neck with a headlock and I slammed her to the ground. Then I got on top of the girl. I didn't know what to do when I was on top of the girl because I did not want to hurt her. I did not want to fight the girl in the first place. She was bullying me. It had gotten out of control and she had attacked me. I did not punch the girl when I was on top of her because I did not want to. Also, I was not violent. I had not punched the girl throughout the entire fight. Each time she swung at me, I ducked and I put her on the ground. The second time, I was restraining her. The guys from the crowd and the other girls wanted us to fight a third time. I told them that I did not want to fight her. They said that it was just luck and they wanted me to fight her again. They said, oh, I got lucky. They bet I can't do it again. The girl ran up on me again. She swung to hit me in my face and I ducked. I put my arm around her neck and I slammed her to the ground on her back. Then I got on top of her and I put her arms back above her head, and then I started to punch her in the mouth. I did this because the guys continued to make us fight. So I felt like I needed to do something to hurt her, to let them know that the fight was over. She started to bleed. Then she told me to get off of her. I only punched her once or twice. I didn't want to punch her again because she started to bleed. It hurt my fingers when I punched her in her teeth. When I punched her in her face, it hurt so much that I did not want to punch her in her face again. I felt sorry for the girl when I looked down at her and she had blood in her mouth. I did not want to punch her anymore. I felt like I had to punch her, and I felt like it was not my fault. I felt like even if I would have continued to just punch her over and over again, that it would not be my fault. I felt like she had done something to me, that she had tried to attack me. I felt like because they made me continue to fight her, that if I would have just lost full control and kept hitting her, then it would not be my fault. I felt like I almost wouldn't even care anymore. There was something inside of me that told me to stop when I looked down at her. She was bleeding in her mouth, so I could not do it. As I started to get off of her, the coaches were already there. Someone got behind me and put my arms behind my back. I believe it was a coach or a security officer. There was already a security officer that had to hold me back from fighting her one of the other times, after she had been bullying me. This time, I had finally fought her. I felt like it was finally over. The thing that I had been dreading. I had been dreading fighting this girl. I did not want to fight her, and I did. It was finally over. All the children were following behind us as they were bringing me back inside of the school with my arms behind my back. The girl who I fought had an older sister who also went to MLK High School, and someone had told her that we had just got into a fight. Her older sister was also bullying me with a clique of other girls that were their friends. When they were bringing me back into the school from off of the field, her sister came running up to try to spit on me. I tried to back up with the person who had my arms behind my back. Then her sister spit on my leg. I tried to fight her sister too because she was trying to fight me. I felt like I would just get it over with and beat her up too. Even if her sister felt like she could fight me and win, I did not care. I was not going to let her think that she was going to beat me up. I looked at her and I felt that if she hit me, I certainly could win. So I said, I will fight you. Now everyone was coming through the cafeteria, and all the guys were calling me Layla Ali. They were saying that I had hands and that I beat the girl up. Suddenly, they went from calling me scary to calling me one of the greatest female boxers of all time. They separated me from the other girls that day. Then I got suspended for 1 day. I didn't understand why I had to be suspended because they knew that this girl was violent. I told the administration department and the staff members at the high school that this girl was threatening to harm me. She exhibited violent behavior towards me more than once. When she attacked me, I wasn't really surprised. I just was surprised that she tried to do it the first time behind my back. Everyone knew that these girls were rowdy and that they liked to fight. The girls were threatening to fight me when I came back. They were saying that they would fight me after school, at the buses, or wherever. They were saying that they would even try to fight me in my neighborhood. My dad and his girlfriend knew that the fight was not my fault. My dad had to come up to the school when the girl first tried to attack me before I even fought her. When I told that she was trying to fight me the first time, they called my dad. My dad came up to the school to let them know that I was afraid that I would have to fight this girl for bullying me. I was not in trouble with my dad or his girlfriend. They seemed to still be upset that I had gotten into a fight. When I saw my cousin, who was my dad's girlfriend's nephew, he was telling me, "Hey, everybody's calling you Layla Ali." All of a sudden, him and I were cool. He even came to hang out with me in my neighborhood. He knew about the girls trying to fight me at school. It was good to have someone who I felt like could have my back, or at least look out for me. One day, my cousin and I were walking down the street in my dad's neighborhood. Some girls tried to fight me. I turned around and told the girls that I did not want to fight them. They were coming in my direction from behind. They kept coming towards me to fight me, and I pulled out a blade from my back pocket. The girls got angry that I pulled out a weapon to protect myself. One of the girls said, "Oh, you got a blade? Oh, I got something for you." They were saying that they would come back. The girls seemed to leave us alone. They were not after my cousin. They were after me. My cousin and I kept walking down the street. It was getting dark, and we were on the way back to my dad's house. Then the girls pulled up in a car, and they tried to hop out on me. They were trying to run up quickly, and I did not know what they were capable of. They already knew that I had a blade. The girls all ran towards me at once. I remember 2 of them. Before they could get to me, I ran and picked up a brick out of somebody's yard. The girls kept coming. I held the brick, and the girl was angry. I was showing her that I would hit her with the brick if she ran up on me. The girls tried to talk me into dropping the brick, saying that why not fight them without the brick. I told them, hell no, I'm gonna hit you with this brick. The girls got back in the car and drove away. Before they left, they were still threatening to come back to harm me. My dad and his girlfriend found out about what happened. They arranged for me to move back with my mother. I didn't want to leave because I felt like I could handle myself. I felt like my dad wasn't standing up for me and that he was making me run away. The other women wanted to run me off, and I had the right to go to school. People were calling me Layla Ali at the school. And I did not want to go to another school. Didn't have to prove myself again. I wasn't afraid of the girls who were threatening me because I felt like someone should just stand up and tell them to leave me alone. I had to be removed from MLK High School. I tried to go back to Stone Mountain, to go to Stone Mountain High School. When my dad took me to get enrolled at Stone Mountain High School, I saw other kids there that I knew, and some of them seemed excited for me to go there. I felt that it would be better for me to go to high school with people that I knew, but for some reason, I could not be enrolled in Stone Mountain High School. I had to go to live with my mother, and this was not something that I wanted to do. I braced myself and prepared myself to live a life on the move. I felt confident and happy about moving away. I moved back in with my mother, and I started going to Westlake High School. I was still in the 9th grade. I knew a girl there from Sandtown Middle School. We started talking in class. She was one of the girls who had borrowed my clothes and never returned them. She was very beautiful and very popular around the school. I was on my way to class one day, and a group of girls approached me. They were looking for my friend. The girls were intimidating me with bandanas wrapped on their heads. I remember my dad telling me that if a group of people jumped me, to take one of them down and beat the hell out of them. So I swung at the girl in the front and I hit her first. My friend who they were looking for came running down the hallway and she jumped in. It was me, her, and like 5 other girls fighting us. The security pulled me and put me in the principal's office. They were still out in the hallway fighting my friend. So I ran out of the principal's office and I jumped back into the fight. One girl had my friend and she was beating her up with her hair pulled down. My friend was still swinging trying to fight her, but she had her by the hair. So I grabbed the girl by her hair. There were 3 other girls who jumped in to help us fight, and they were fighting the other girls. Security grabbed me and told me to let the girl go. I had the girl by her hair telling her to let my friend's hair go. She didn't let my friend's hair go, so I didn't let her hair go. Security slammed me into the wall and I snatched the girl's hair. They broke up the fight, but all of the students had started to come into the hallways. After that, people were trying to fight all over the school, and they were trying to fight outside by the buses. The principal called my mother and told her to come and get me. She made it seem like to my mother that I was causing chaos around the school. She never really asked me what happened. It only seemed to matter that I hit the girl. I didn't really care because they came up to me to fight me when I was on the way to my class. So I felt like they should be the ones getting in trouble. My mother was angry. She came to pick me up. We went to a hearing to figure out what happened on that day. I had straight A's, but the girl said I pulled out her hair and they expelled me from Westlake High School in Georgia. My friend also got expelled. My friend started going to another high school in Georgia, and I had to go and live with my grandmother. I had been in another fight at Westlake High School before the fight that got me expelled, but I was never suspended for that fight. There was a young man from ROTC that had hit a girl in the lunchroom, and I said, "Don't let him hit you." And then he tried to hit me. So me and the guy started fighting in the lunchroom. The girl who I was standing up for, she didn't even jump in to help me when this guy had me pinned up by the lunch trays. When I went to try to pick up a metal pole to hit him in the head, everybody was saying I was taking it too far. But here was a young man trying to attack women in the cafeteria while everybody was watching. A young black guy came and punched him in the face and knocked him out. I was like, finally, somebody came to jump in. Not even the teacher intervened. I had already punched the young man in the head so many times when he pinned me up by the lunch trays. If all it took was for one young man to come step in to stop the fight, then why did they allow the fight to go on for so long? That was a male hitting females. and I don't even know if he was suspended. I was glad to get away from Westlake High School, and suddenly the girl was acting like she didn't even want to be my friend anymore. She claimed that I was dragging her into trouble, but the truth was, if I would have just stayed to myself, I probably would have been good at Westlake High School. I was glad to be moving away, and I was excited to see my cousins. Since I was going to live with my grandmother, I thought maybe this time it would be different. I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas to finish the 9th grade. It was my first time living with my grandmother and my cousins to go to school. I started going to a high school that was broken into East Campus and West Campus. I heard rumors of my cousin having to fight girls from her school and in the neighborhood. I was afraid to go back to school because I didn't want to get in any trouble. Not long after I got there, my cousin told me that I had to come outside to help them fight a group of girls who lived on the corner. I told her that I didn't want to, but she said that family sticks together. She told me that I had to come out to help them fight. I took my time to come out and fight. I didn't want to be involved. By the time I got out there, the fight was already over. My cousins had fought the girls and supposedly beat them up. After that, the fight was over, and I didn't hear about it anymore. I started going to a nearby campus, but I did not go in the classrooms during the day. I would get my assignments, do my work, and walk the halls. I was called to an office. A man sat down and spoke with me. He asked me why I didn't like to go into the classrooms. I told him that I had been a straight A student and that I didn't want to get into it with the other students. He told me that he could arrange for me to be sent to Argenta Academy. Argenta Academy was an alternative school. He said that there would be security officers there who would make sure that none of the other students could fight me. I agreed to go to alternative school. Argenta Academy was cool. I didn't get into it with any of the other students. They were pretty cool, but the officers were very strict. It was very easy to do my work, but my friend from Atlanta told me that I could come back to live with her and her mother. We had stopped being friends, and my boyfriend in Atlanta had started dating one of my older sister's friends, and that really made me miss my life back home. It wasn't a serious relationship. We only talked off and on. He promised me that when we got older, he would take me to Paris and marry me. I met a couple of guys in Little Rock, Arkansas, but it seemed like as soon as I tried to get close to him, people were calling me names. It seemed like I couldn't talk to anyone because the guys were either lying about having a girlfriend or then they would go around and try to talk about me. It was a lot of us in my grandmother's house in Little Rock. It seemed like I could barely take care of myself. So I figured if I went back to Atlanta, that maybe I could just have a better life for myself. I did not know what I was going to do as far as school, but I knew that I would continue with my education. I already had a bad reputation for myself in Little Rock, Arkansas, because I dated a couple of guys. It wasn't anything serious. It just seemed like people were always trying to tease me about something. My grandmother was also struggling, and she took care of my cousins for their entire lives, so I felt like more of a burden. My little sister had also stayed in Little Rock for a while, but I figured that I needed to go back to Atlanta. I think it just wasn't for me. There weren't many opportunities for me, so I decided to go back to ATL.